Hi Mark and Jordan. How are you two today?
Christina, I'm great. I'm sure Mark is too. What will we be doing today?
Today you guys are going to evaluate persuasive texts. I have picked a few articles for you two to read.
Evaluate persuasive text? Huh? I'm not sure if I remember how to do this. I would like to have Mark help me.
Yes, Jordan, you and Mark will be evaluating persuasive texts. You two will go through the articles I gave you together. Please look at the chart here. It will help you remember how to evaluate persuasive text.
Great. So first Mark and I have to identify the topic of the article, then the writer's main argument. But what's after that?
Then you have to look at the writer's main argument to find supporting information. I will let you two try this with the first article. Here it is. Please read it, and when you are finished, click Continue. Mark, what is the topic of the article? Jordan, what do you think the topic of the article is?
I'm not sure, Christina, but if I had to guess, I would say governmental issues.
Great! Mark, you selected the correct answer. The topic of the article is minimum wage. Jordan, you gave an incorrect answer.
You answered right, Mark. Awesome job.
Here is another question mark. Let's try it together. Mark, what is the writer's main argument? Sorry, Mark. Try again, that wasn't the right answer. Mark, in this article there is one argument. The title of the article gives you a hint to the writer's main argument. What is the main argument of the article? Jordan, what do you think the main argument of the article is?
I really don't know, but I think it's to keep the wage the same.
Great! Mark, that's correct. Great job. The writer's main argument is to increase minimum wage. Jordan, you actually got that question wrong.
Super, Mark. You got the question right.
Let's continue, you two. With the next question, pay close attention to the supporting information. Mark, here is a highlighted sentence. Does this sentence support the writer's main argument? Mark, try again. Your answer choice was not correct. Mark, the sentence reads so: it would be best for the government to increase minimum wage. After all, the government is for the people. Right? Does this sentence sound like it supports the writer's main argument? Jordan, do you know if the sentence supports the writer's main argument?
I don't know, but I think this sentence does support the main argument, Christina.
Terrific. Amazing job, Mark, you picked the correct answer. This sentence does not support the writer's argument because it is not supportive information to the main argument. It is an emotional appeal to the audience. Sorry, Jordan, that's not right.
Great job, Mark.
I hope these questions are helping you, Mark and Jordan.
Mark, could an emotional appeal, like an emotion trigger, be used as a valid piece of supporting information? I'm not sure.
Great! Great work, Mark, you answered correctly. An emotional appeal is not supporting information because it does not contain valid information.
I understand now, Mark. An emotional appeal is not supporting information because it is used to persuade the audience.
Great! Let's continue, you two. Mark, which sentence is supportive information for the writer's argument? Jordan, which sentence do you think is supportive?
Christina, I don't know, but I think the first sentence is supportive.
Amazing! Mark, you are correct. The sentence you selected is supportive information for the writer's argument. Jordan, you didn't pick the correct answer.
Awesome, Mark. You got it right.
I hope you are enjoying the article. Here is another question.
Mark, why is this sentence considered supporting information for the writer's argument?
Mark, please try again. Your answer was not correct. Mark, the main argument is to increase minimum wage. How does this sentence support that? Perfect! Mark, you are correct. Great job. This sentence is considered supportive because it backs up the writer's argument for raising minimum wage. The other answer options are not correct because this sentence does not support government policies on wages and it is not the main argument.
I understand now, Mark and Christina. The sentence is supportive because it backs up the writer's argument.
Mark and Jordan, the next 3 questions will be about 3 sentences within the article. Let's take a look. Mark, how will employees keeping their jobs save the employer's money? Please click on the sentence in the text that best answers this question. Mark, please try again. Your answer was not correct. Mark, try to locate the sentence in the article that refers to employers saving money with the benefit of the wage increase. How will employees keeping their jobs save the employer's money? Jordan, how do you think employees save employers money when they keep their jobs?
Christina, I don't know. But I guess because families will have more money to buy goods and this will save the employers money in the long run.
Wonderful! Mark, you are doing so well. You answered correctly. Employers would save money because it will save them from training new people to replace older workers. Jordan, that's not right.
Great job, Mark. You answered right. Thanks for helping me so much.
Here is another questions, Mark and Jordan. Mark, what will happen if families are more financially secure? Click on the sentence in the text that best answers this question. Jordan, what do you think will happen if families are more financially secure?
Christina, I don't know, I can't locate the information in the article. But from what we read before, I think that the minimum wage will increase.
Wonderful! Mark, that's great! You answered correctly. Families will be more financially secure and they will be able to buy more goods with more money. The other 2 options are not correct because they do not give specific information about how families will be impacted by the wage increase. Jordan, that's not right.
Great job, Mark. You answered right. Thanks for helping me so much.
Mark and Jordan, is here the 3rd question about the 3 sentences highlighted in the article.
Mark, what will be the overall impact if there was an increase in minimum wage? Can you help me by clicking on the sentence in the article that best answers my question?
Terrific. Mark, you answered correctly. The overall impact that increasing the minimum wage can have is that 900,000 people will be able to live above the poverty line. The other 2 sentences are not correct because they refer to smaller things that can be affected, but having 900,000 people affected is a bigger impact.
Mark, I understand now. If there was an increase in minimum wage, then 900,000 people would live above the poverty line. I also see why the other 2 sentences are not correct now.
Jordan and Mark, here is the final question for our first article. Yay!
Mark, are these two sentences supportive information for the main argument?
Sorry, Mark. Try again. That wasn't the right answer. Mark, try to remember that supporting information cannot be an opinion because an opinion is not a valid piece of information. Are these sentences supportive of the main argument? Wonderful! Mark, you answered the questions correctly. These two sentences are not supportive information because they are emotional appeals. Like an earlier question Jordan asked, an emotional appeal is not a valid piece of supportive information, it is normally an opinion.
Mark, I understand now these sentences are not supportive to the main argument because just like an earlier question I asked, they contain emotional appeals. And emotional appeals are not valid pieces of supportive information.
Mark and Jordan, here is the second article.
Hey Mark, when you are finished reading, click continue at the bottom of the page.
Amazing! Mark, I think we are ready to move on now. Let's continue with more questions.
Great, Christina. Let's keep going.
Here is the first question, you two. Mark, what is the writer's main argument in this article? Jordan, what do you think the main argument is?
I'm not sure, Christina, but I think it's increased pay for Americans.
Amazing! Mark, you selected the correct answer. The writer's main argument is against raising minimum wage. Jordan, you actually got that question wrong.
Super, Mark. You got the question right.
I hope these questions are helpful. Here is another question. Mark, try to remember that the main argument of this article is not to increase minimum wage. Mark, why is the writer against increasing minimum wage? Mark, try again. Your answer choice was not correct. Mark, I know this may be a harder question, but why do you think the writer is against increasing minimum wage? Could this affect a lot of people? Jordan, why do you think the writer is against increasing minimum wage?
I think because the inflation rate is increasing, that is why the writer is against the increase.
Great! Great work, Mark. The writer may be against raising minimum wage because it can ruin the quality of life for many Americans. Jordan, you gave an incorrect answer.
You answered right, Mark. Awesome job.
Here is the third question. Remember the main argument of the article.
Mark, why is this sentence considered supportive information?
Great! Mark, you are going so well. This sentence provides a possible consequence of increasing minimum wage. The other answer options are not correct because this sentence does not show the role of the government or the impact on people.
I understand now, Mark. This sentence shows us that there are consequences to increasing minimum wage.
Great! Let's continue. Here is another question.
Mark, how does this newly highlighted sentence support the previous highlighted sentence above it?
Great! Mark, you selected the correct answer. The sentence is supportive because the writer provides information that supports or backs up their argument.
I see now. This sentence provides additional information for the claims above. That's what makes it supportive of the argument.
You two are doing great. These sentences are supportive of the main argument. Here is another question. Mark, why would this newly highlighted sentence be supportive of the previous sentences we have highlighted above it? Mark, try again. Your answer choice was not correct. Mark, supportive information must back up the main argument. This supportive information must back up the argument to not increase minimum wage. How does this sentence support the previous sentences? Jordan, why is this sentence supportive of the others?
I think that this sentence is not supportive of the previous sentences, but I am not sure.
Wonderful! Mark, you are on a roll. This sentence supports the claim that people would not want to lose their jobs just to help someone get a $2 raise when inflation rates are currently high in the economy. Jordan, you were wrong.
Amazing, Mark. You're good at this. You picked the right answer.
Here is another question, guys. Remember the supportive information. Mark, how does this sentence support the previous sentences highlighted above it? Whoops. Looks like you picked the wrong answer, Mark. Try again. Mark, remember that supportive information must back up the main argument. How does this sentence support the previous sentences? Jordan, how does this sentence support the others?
I'm not sure, but I think this sentence doesn't support the others, Christina.
Great! Mark, that was the correct answer. This sentence connects the previous claims together. Jordan, you gave an incorrect answer.
You answered right, Mark. Awesome job.
Guys, let's continue with more questions. This question is slightly different than the others before it.
Mark, here are a few highlighted sentences Christina gave us. Which one is not supportive of the argument?
Mark, please try again. Your answer was not correct. Mark, remember supportive information must back up the argument. Which sentence does not? Splendid! Mark, you are correct. This sentence is not supportive because it does not present any valid information that supports the argument. The other sentences are indeed supportive of the main argument, which is not to increase minimum wage. That is why those sentences are not correct for this type of question Jordan asked.
Gotcha, Mark. This sentence is not supportive because it does not support the argument.
Here is another question, you two.
Mark, what will be the overall impact if the increase occurred? Can you click the sentence that best answers my question?
Whoops. Looks like you picked the wrong answer, Mark. Try again. Mark, remember that the main argument is against minimum wage and the question is asking you to figure out what will be the overall impact of the wage increase. Which sentence best answers this question? Great! Mark, you are correct. If the increase occurred, more than 500,000 Americans would be unemployed.
Mark, I see now. This sentence shows that 500,000 Americans will be out of work if the increase occurred.
Here are more questions. Remember the main argument of the article. Mark, how will American goods be affected by the wage increase? Click on the sentence that best answers the question. Whoops. Looks like you picked the wrong answer, Mark. Try again. Mark, remember that the writer is presenting us with supporting information, and some of this information shows the impact on American goods. What can occur? Jordan, do you know what the impact could be on American goods?
No, Christina, I don't, but I think American goods will be cheaper.
Great! Mark, you are correct. Great job. The sentence you picked describes what will happen to American goods. The reason American goods will be affected is due to inflation rates that will increase. The other sentences are not correct because they do not show how American goods can be affected by the increase. Jordan, you gave an incorrect answer.
You answered right, Mark. Awesome job.
Mark, here is another question.
Mark, how is job competition amongst low-wage workers? Can you pick the sentence that you think best answers my question?
Sorry, Mark. Try again, that wasn't the right answer. Mark, try to locate the sentence in the article that best describes how job competition among low-wage workers are currently. Terrific. Mark, you are on a roll. The sentence you picked is correct because it shows that low-wage workers currently have an easier time finding work due to less competition.
Gotcha, Mark. So the sentence highlighted shows that currently low-wage workers have an easier time, but later it would be harder to find work if the increase took place.
Here is the most important question, Mark and Jordan.
So Mark, after all of this, which article was more persuasive to you?
Perfect. Great, Mark. I wonder why you thought that main argument was more persuasive. Can you tell us about it?
Can you tell us why you thought that, Mark?
Mark, let's try typing your opinion in.
Mark, click on the button below to give your opinion. When you are finished, press OK to submit it.
Splendid. Mark, that's great. I'm happy you gave us your input on the articles. This is exciting.
Mark, thanks for typing.
Mark, you helped Jordan so much.
Yes, Mark, you have. I think we both learned a lot in today's lesson. Christina, can you run through what we did today?
Of course, Jordan. Today we practiced evaluating persuasive texts. In order to evaluate persuasive texts, we must identify the topic, the main argument, and then any supportive information.
Remind me what supportive information is again?
Supportive information is the information a writer includes in their main argument to back up their argument.
Got it.
I hope you two remember these tips as you continue on with your future lessons.
Thanks, Christina. I'm sure we will.
Have a great day, you too. Bye.
Bye, Mark and Christina.